the idea of these kind of baby little challenges is that they start letting you experience success. I actually want to talk about a really, really cool concept for today, which is for a lot of singers, right? Especially when you're first starting off, it can be tricky to feel confident about your voice. It can be tricky to, it can feel very tricky to take that first step. And I felt this a lot as a singer, right? I felt this a lot when I started, which was like, is it really possible to learn how to sing? Can I really do it? Can I really take my step to take my voice to the next level? And I actually recently came across this idea, and I'd love to share it. And this kind of goes back to a very famous scientist, Albert Bandura. Hopefully I pronounced his name right. Thank you for joining us, Nancy. Thank you for joining us. And so with with the scientist Albert Bandura, he actually did a little experiment because he's actually a psychologist, right? And he was a psychologist, and he is really good with helping people overcome their phobias. And he was actually thinking of really helping people overcome it even faster, even better, and actually have it sustain, which means they're going to stick with that. They're not going to come back and fall into that phobia. And so one particular example he did was he had a client or a person who was very scared of snakes. It's like the moment they would see a snake, they would freeze up, and then like they'll kind of lose their shit. they'll lose it, right? And so what he was talking about was there is a really nice way to get people to overcome their phobias. And what Albert did was he would, number one, invite this person to come do the experiment, and he would let them know, hey, you know what? We're chatting in this room, right? But next door, we've actually got a snake. There's actually a snake next door. I've actually got a snake prepared for you. And obviously that person will be like, damn, like they'll kind of just freak out and go crazy. But then what Albert did from there was very smart, very intelligent. And what he did was he would break that down. He would break it down. And so what he did was, first of all, he would maybe let the person just stand outside the room. Don't even go inside the room. Don't even touch the snake. Don't do anything with it. Just stand outside and look at the snake. You'd be like, oh, that's a snake. That's a snake, and I'm quite scared of it. And then from there, he might actually get them a bit closer distance. Still no touching, no interaction, nothing at all. And so he'll just get them closer. And then maybe they will introduce and put that person into the same room as a snake. Still no touching, none of that. And this process would continue and go on and on and on until the person was able to get close to the snake and actually touch it. And a lot of times at the end of this experiment, the person who once was so scared and had so much fear of snakes, all of a sudden could appreciate the beauty of the snake and would go, hey, wow, this is a wonderful snake, and can actually be able to pet it and hang around with it, right? This is a really cool concept because I feel like as much as we're talking about snakes here, we're also talking about confidence with singing. For some of us, the fear of singing in front of people, the fear of messing up, the fear of cracking, like I did just now, right? The fear of having those things really holds us back from doing the things we love to do. And this whole idea that Albert Bandura did really well, he's coined it as guided mastery, which is anyone can get to where they want. Anyone can develop the skills, the ability to sing, the technique behind it. But sometimes they need this little guided mastery, which is someone to break it down for them step by step. For example, if you're afraid of singing in front of people, if you're afraid of just jumping on stage, okay, let's not do that first. Let's not do that first. That's completely cool. Let's chunk it down. Let's find something even easier, right? Maybe just see if you can hum. See if you can hum. Just hum for a couple of minutes. Done. And then next step, maybe you can open your mouth. Ma, 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 ma. Make a sound with your mouth open. And then maybe you can sing a part of a song. Maybe sing a tiny bit, right? Sing in front of people. And then you can sing a verse, sing a chorus. maybe you can then start seeing, maybe you can send a clip to one of your friends, right? However you choose to do it, the idea still stands. Instead of thinking, I have to sing in front of people, I have to do all these crazy things, chunk it down to something that's really achievable. And actually, in the way I teach a lot of my students, we actually call this baby challenges. We call this baby challenges because the idea of these kind of baby little challenges is that they start letting you experience success. So actually doing it, being able to do it, because when you keep seeing the success and when you start seeing other people do the same thing, you actually build something called self-efficacy. And what self-efficacy means, it means I have the belief that if I put in the work, if I put in the effort, I will get to where I want. And this becomes really powerful because no longer do you start approaching singing as this big grand task where you're like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. But rather you start going, okay, well, I'm just going to focus on this one easy baby challenge, this one easy task. Can I get it? And then keep building on top of that. And personally, I've done this myself. Doing a live like this is a baby challenge for myself because I've done a lot of coaching. I've coached people around all around the world, but then having to kind of do this in front of an audience of people, that actually is still quite scary. But as I've gone, and this is our 7th one, which is amazing, you start to build and build more of that accountability, more of that success per se, and then you start feeling more confident with the way you're doing things. And frankly, I still remember the very first time I was singing, I did a song here. I was still quite nervous because I've performed on stage, but doing it live just felt a bit unfamiliar to me. But now it's getting there, it's getting there, it's getting there. And hopefully that lands with everyone here.